we're going to do multi-store purchase orders next week, store link, and the week after that, multi-store and accounts receivable. I'd like to welcome everybody to Keystroke Live. We do this every week, same time, same place, various topics. And the first week of the month, first Wednesday of the month, is with our president, Michael Gebb. Multi-store purchase orders does require a license for Keystroke Advanced Point of Sale and Multi-Store. Now, generally, when you do multi-store purchase orders, it's only one location that's going to be doing them. So it's only that location that is absolutely necessary to have advanced POS. And we really recommend having the main location be advanced POS anyway for multi-store. Always a good idea to have all the available tools. This allows you to generate purchase orders or purchase invoices for other stores. I always suggest using different numbering schemes for the multi-store purchase orders so you can distinguish the local orders versus the orders that were done from multi-store at the individual stores. And I'm going to show you all this in Keystroke in just a second here. When you do a multi-store PO, you can bring up what's called an allotments grid. It allows you to say you're going to order 3 for this store, 5 for this store, 10 for this store, and then when you're all finished and save the multi-store purchase order, it allows you, it then creates purchase orders, or if you like, purchase invoices at those other stores. The other thing that this requires is your multi-store setup needs to have live real-time access to the databases of all the stores. A lot of people now, because internet's gotten better, do that. They have all their stores on a central server, all their data, and each store logs into that server. So you want to have the real-time access. Theoretically, you could do it with more traditional polling, with, you know, extracting from a copy of the store database back to the store, vice versa, but that can get really cumbersome. When you're first trying this, you might want to start out with a reserved multi-store order, because that just allows you to save it as you go along, but doesn't create the orders in the other store until you actually convert it to a multi-store purchase order rather than a reserved order. We have one form in Keystroke to print multi-store orders because it gives you the item, and then for each store it gives you how many you've allotted for each store, the 3, 5, 10, whatever. You can also print orders as they're going to show up at the individual stores if you want, and we'll go through all of this with Keystroke. It's really important with multi-store orders. Once they've been saved and individual stores have the multi-store orders, if the stores then receive things on their end and somebody at the master goes in and changes that multi-store order, it can overwrite and mess things up on the store level. So you want to edit with care. But if you have to, and nobody has done anything with the orders or the invoices at the store, when you resave it, it'll all be fine. So just take that into consideration. In our report module, there are some reports set up for multi-store. All of our purchase reports allow you to report on multi-store orders, and the purchase transactions report does show your various allotments. You can use multi-store orders for transferring inventory by doing a negative order from one store and then a positive to another, but Store Link might be better. Just something to consider. Let's take a look at Keystroke here. We're going to start out with my master database, which is kind of my main multi-store. It's where I consolidate everything. It's where I keep track of my inventory and that sort of thing. Let's talk first about the setup parameters for multi-store. You are not going to see this multi-store parameter available unless you have advanced POS and you have the multi-store module. The stores list is the exact same list. It uses the same list as in Store Link. So this is assuming you already have your multi-store set up and those are all working. You can see all the various sets of data. And it looks fairly similar as it does in Store Link. I have my master store. Now I've just really sparse with my information, but you can put all this, your address information. You do need to tell for multi-store where your data folder is. And then down here at the bottom is the multi-store purchase order parameters for each store. You can choose to exclude certain stores if you want from multi-store orders. And that's what this parameter is about. Never use multi-store orders. You can set up an individual store kind of print button. You can choose the file that you want, the printer you want to go to, that sort of thing. That's for the individual orders or invoices created from the multi-store order. And you can print them locally if you want. And here's where you choose that you're going to create a purchase invoice at the various stores rather than an order. So remember, a purchase invoice automatically increases your quantity on hand at the stores. So there's no, you wouldn't have, the stores don't have to go in and receive those items afterwards. They're already received and put into inventory. So each store that you have is going to be set up similarly with different store order forms, whether all this is separate for each individual store. And as I said, this is the same list that's set up in Store Link for your various stores. You do need to enable the multi-store purchase orders. Otherwise, you're not going to see it. You can choose if you'd like to default to multi-store mode, and you can see this is what I've done here. When I first go into Purchase Manager, it automatically comes up with a blank multi-store order. You can also choose when you're starting a new order to start in reserved mode. Now I'll show you how to go back and forth between regular purchase orders, invoices, or regular reserve purchase orders, or multi-store orders, or multi-store reserved orders. If you do use the max quantity field on your inventory records in Keystroke, you can display that max quantity field in the allotments list. And there's a security level here that allows a clerk whether or not they can edit the reorder quantity. Because by default, when you put an item on a multi-store order, it's going to look just like any other automatic ordering. It's going to look at the quantity on hand of the item. It's going to look at the minimum quantity. And if your quantity on hand is below your minimum quantity, it's going to want to order it. If you want people to change that, then you may want the security level something other than 0, depending on who does your purchasing. And like all of our transactions, you can choose a display file that is unique for multi-store orders versus other purchase orders. So these are kind of the parameters for multi-store orders. So we're just going to get started here. Okay, as I said, I have this starting on multi-store orders. If I want to go back and just do a regular purchase order, I can just do Control O, and it's going to change to a purchase order, or Control I for a purchase invoice, or Control R for a reserved order. If I'm on one of these and I want to go to a multi-store order, it's Control M for multi-store. And if you're in a multi-store order and you want to create a reserved order from here, you can do Control R. And you can see the title bar of the main window, your ordering screen, tells you what type of order it is. We're just going to do a regular multi-store order. You get from reserved, multi-store reserved back to a multi-store order. It was just Control M again. Now, I may or may not have any auto order. You can auto order in multi-store if you'd like. You can choose a vendor, and then you can go up to your special menu and auto order, and it's going to search all the files with that, with that vendor. There are restrictions here too that you can set for just this order when you order, that you want to include all of these, and maybe I want to exclude store 2, you can just double click on it, or if you want to include it back, double click on it, it'll go back and forth. If you want to exclude certain stores at certain times, and you can set up several of these. You can have certain items you only share with certain stores. So those are some things to consider. Very flexible, very powerful that you can do. We're going to keep it simple for right now. So let's see if we have anything for this vendor. Hey, we do. It's coming up with a couple of things. So when you're on the line item and you hit F3, this brings up your allotment list. So this basically allows you to say how many you want to order. And you can change this if you want. Maybe I want 5 of these and 3 at store 2 or store 1, and we'll just do 1 at store 2. So you notice it adds it up for you down at the bottom. This is the total. You hit F10, it puts the total here, and that's the grand total you're ordering. You can always go back and hit F3 and change this if you want. Same thing here. F3, I'm going to order 6 and 4 and 2. And I'm going to save it. So this gives you the way to make a single order with your vendor, and you have an agreement with your vendor maybe, hey, I'm going to do a big order, part of it goes here, part of it goes here, part of it goes here. Makes it really easy to do. You can go ahead and save the order. You can put a payment on it or not. And I'm going to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like to print a multi-store order. But I guess my printer isn't set up properly here. Let's see. We want to kind of show you that. See all my funny characters. But you can notice down here, it says this shirt My store 0 is my master. I'm ordering 5. Store 1 is store 1. I'm ordering 3. I'm ordering 1 for a grand total of 9. Same thing here. This is the only standard form file we have for multi-store orders, but as a dealer, you're welcome to customize it to meet your customers' needs. So this, gives you an idea. So once I have printed it, it comes back and I can just save it. When I save it, it asks me if I want to print the orders for the other stores. I'm not going to do that right now at all. I'm just going to hit cancel. So we're going to cancel it, and it's going to save. So now let's take a look at my store 1 here. And I'm in Purchase Manager in store 1. And you can see by going to Transaction, Edit, Print, Order by number. Here's the multi-store order that was created from my master at this individual store. So I can go in here, and this is just like any other regular purchase order. You can see this item you're going to get 3, this item you're going to get 4, and it does that in every store that you do that. Even does the same thing in this case. I ordered something for my master location as well, so there is a multi-store or a purchase order from this multi-store order. So we'll take a look at that. If I go to the transaction menu, edit, print, order in this case, not a multi-store order, and I can go by date. Down here at the bottom is just the regular order I created. So, very powerful tool, allows you to do central purchasing for all of your stores and automatically create the purchase orders, or if you'd like, purchase invoices at your various store. And so let's kind of review this just a little bit. Remember, multi-store purchase orders requires a license for Keystroke Advanced POS and the multi-store module. Generates either purchase orders or purchase invoices for your individual stores. I do suggest using different number ranges for your multi-store POs. So at the individual store level, you can distinguish between orders that individual store has done versus orders that had been generated by the multi-store purchase order process. You get an allotments display grid that will allow you to change how many you want for each location. And maybe if you're going to do a big multi-store order that you might want to save it in between, you might get interrupted, start on reserve mode. Because with reserve mode, that's just something in progress. It doesn't go out and create your purchase orders at your other locations. All it does is let you go back to it without losing or running the chance of losing any of those transactions. We do have one form for printing multi-store purchase orders, but you can customize it as you need. You can print, if you'd like, the orders at the individual stores if you'd like to do that. Please remember, edit with care, because if the order generated at the store, if somebody's already received it, edited it, changed it, and then you go back into the multi-store order in your master location and resave it, it's going to mess things up at the stores, at the store level. There's reports for multi-store purchase orders. I can go back and show you that in just a sec. I'd forgotten about that. You can use this for transferring inventory by doing negatives and positives. Store link might be easier to understand, but that's up to you. Let's go back and take a look at my master location here, and let's go look at a report, a purchases transactions report. I want it detailed